Howdy folks, and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077 with the mighty Jingles, and everything has gone very sideways very quickly. T-Bug is dead, Jackie is dead, and if you thought that things couldn't possibly get any worse, well, that simply means that you merely lack sufficient imagination.
Mr. Wells has passed. Where shall I take his remains?
What?
The Excelsior package provides for the disposal of passenger remains free of charge. I merely require a destination.
I want to be with his family.
Mr. Wells's closest blood relative is Guadalupe Alejandra Wells, proprietress of the El Coyote Coho Bar. I will make sure to deliver him safely. Mr. Deshawn awaits you in room number 204.
See you in the major leagues, Jack.
You know, if I've been thinking clearly at this point, Dexter Deshawn is the last person. Seriously, Regina? Fuck off. Not now. Yeah, if I've been thinking clearly at this point, Dexter Deshawn is the last person I'd be going to see. Because with everything going to shit at the hotel, there were only 4 people in the entire world that could connect Dexter to what happened there. 2 of them are dead. Jackie and T-Bug. The other 2 are myself and Evelyn Palmer. So the last person in the world that I really should be seeing right now is Dexter. It's just a question of how quickly Dexter can put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. And thus far, he hasn't really struck me as being stupid.
Let me in. He waiting.
WNS, N54, even the pirate networks. You blowing up everywhere. And the Jackster, he out in the car?
Yeah, he's there. Dead.
Arasaka Corporation CEO, Saburo Arasaka. The longtime head
Condolences,
of the
friend.
corporation was
And the relic.
slain on the premises of the Konpeki Plaza.
Got it right here.
I was afraid of that.
What?
Saburo Arasaka. Dead. You got any notion of the shit you pulled me into? You off the fucking Emperor! His Majesty! Anyone with so much as a pinky toe dipped in this mess is as good as dead!
Oh, you're going to give me that now, are you, Mr. I've got everything under control?
You're the one who got us into this mess. Let's start with your prep work. You had no idea Saburo Arasaka would be at the hotel.
I don't have access to his personal fucking schedule. And besides, nobody asked you to kill the old man.
That wasn't us.
No shit. Tell that to the soccer ninjas they send after you.
At the time, I can remember thinking, Dex, you need to chill the fuck out and come up with a plan. Unfortunately, I'm not going to like the plan he comes up with.
Alright, settle down. Gotta be tactical about this. Parker, Eddie's. Then we leave the city limits behind. But first, your face got blood all over it. Bathroom's there. Go get yourself cleaned up.
So again, just to summarise, remember, the only 2 people left alive in the world who can possibly connect Dexter Deshawn to just what went down at the hotel are myself and Evelyn Parker. And he's probably got a pretty good idea where Evelyn Parker is, and if he moves fast, he can get her too. And then he doesn't have to worry about a thing. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately for Dexter, I'm giving him far too much credit for intelligence. Arasaka does not know he's involved, and if he takes care of me and Evelyn, they never will. Unless somebody tells them. But who would be dumb enough to do that? Yeah. I should have seen this coming. I didn't. It was only after Dexter's bodyguard laid me out
Can't risk it, V. Remember our first convo?
that I realised.
Seems I've
I'll
chosen
fucking
the quiet
kill
life
you.
After all. No blaze of glory for me.
From Dexter's perspective, that was definitely the smart thing to do. So that's it. I'm dead. I really am dead. Dexter DeShawn just put a bullet in my head at point blank range. And he's no trigger man. But it would be difficult for anybody to miss under those circumstances. And then things started to get weird. And it was all thanks to that chip in my head. Remember, the relic chip is for saving and storing and transferring the personalities of people who are dying. And I just died. But the chip already contains another personality. What you're seeing now, by the way, is a memory
You all right?
contained in the relic chip
Sure
from
don't look
54 years earlier. It's from the personality of the other person on the chip. Ted Theodore Logan Esquire. Yeah. This, kids, is Johnny Silverhand.
Tonight, I'm here to say goodbye to all of you.
This is Johnny Silverhand's memory of a night where something extremely important happened in the history of Night City. Not just the fact that this was the last gig he ever played with his band Samurai.
You're wasting your lives following us around like dogs.
What crawled up your ass?
Man, we can talk. How much do you want for it? Uh-huh. Okay. I want it today. Johnny, wait up. Don't do this. You could still change your mind.
Want to see me give up? Sounds like something you'd do. Know why? Because you've always been a fucking pussy, Carrie. Offer you one piece of advice. For old time's sake, stop being one. Time to bring on the future.
That was Kerry Eurodyne, Samurai's lead guitarist.
You're late!
Love it when you're mad. Gets my southern blood pumping.
Get in, or I change my mind.
That's Rogue, and she's still working as a fixer in Night City today.
Silverhand!
Hey, Shaden!
Get us in the air! Here, put this on, and it stays on. Got it?
In fact, if you were paying attention to the incidental characters in the background, we actually saw her in the Afterlife earlier when we went to meet Dexter to set the job up. I'm very impressed with what this game has done with Johnny Silverhand, by the way, because back when I was playing Cyberpunk 2020 in high school, Johnny Silverhand was a character in the world, but he was just a bit of a wanker, because the game tried far too hard to make him look cool.
Viewers are on fire. Pacifica's cut off, shut down. APC's on the streets of Watson.
Sons of bitches!
Skull cracking out there. That us?
Johnny's idea. Wayland's drawing Arasaka's attention away from the tower.
Collateral damage part of the plan too.
This is the Cub Scouts, Thompson. Chew it up, spit it out.
Do you know what I mean by that? When somebody's just trying way too hard to be cool, and it's obvious, and it ends up actually being kind of pathetic, and that's what Johnny Silverhand seemed like to us when we were playing the pen and paper Cyberpunk back in the mid-80s.
Target range acquired.
Make it rain.
Keep the base!
Go, go, go!
the game would just keep going on and on and on about how cool and badass Johnny Silverhand was, and to us it just seemed like all he really gave a shit about was his haircut and which groupie he was going to fuck next. It was kind of sad really how hard the game tried to make you think that this Johnny Silverhand person, I mean just look at his name, Johnny Silverhand, even his name makes him sound like a wanker. So no matter how hard the original game tried, I don't know a single person who didn't have anything but contempt for the character of Johnny Silverhand. And the thing is, here in Cyberpunk 2077, he's still an utter arsehole. Utterly self-absorbed, totally narcissistic. He's just a dick. But that doesn't mean they haven't also managed to make him a badass.
Johnny, remember the plan?
Get the payload on the elevator, arm it, let gravity do its thing. Explosion rocks the foundation, tower crumbles, chaos, screaming, roll credits.
Exit window's gonna be tight.
Jacking in. Is grass green? Do birds fly? Do cats eat bats? Do rats shit gnats?
Mainframe's not your playground, Murphy. Come on. Evac announcement. Broadcast it across all frequencies and let's get moving.
Sheesh. Who wrote this manifesto?
Really need me to answer that question?
Jesus, Johnny. You've gone off the deep end. That's coming from a chair jock.
Come on.
Corporation forces are under attack.
Get ready. Don't get yourself spotted.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that they hired Keanu Reeves to play him. Even though at times his performance is a little wooden. Because, you know, he's Keanu Reeves. But he definitely knows how to do cool. And his pistol is amazing.
She sought it with thimbles, she sought it with care. Pursued it with forks and hope.
Johnny, Halo.
Oh yes,
Bushido 2,
the
Bond's
payload.
name is what?
Wrap it up. We got Delta.
The Demolitron. We're good to blow.
Shaka Elite incoming. Run for it.
Yes, he is setting off a nuke in Arasaka Tower in the middle of downtown Night City in the year 2023. Like I said, just because the game has managed to make him cool and a badass does not mean he isn't a complete arsehole.
Not done yet. Still need to feed this to their subnet.
Fucking knew it. This was never about corporate colonialism. This was about your groupie output, wasn't it?
No, you wouldn't understand, Rogue.
Giving you 4 fucking minutes. Chopper's not gonna wait 1 sec longer.
Door lock breached. Arasaka sons of bitches incoming.
Love you, Spider.
So while you're thinking just how cool and badass this character is, because the game has undeniably succeeded in making him cool and badass, remember, he's setting off a nuke in Arasaka Tower in the middle of downtown Night City. He doesn't give a shit about collateral damage. And it's not a very big nuke, but, well, when you're talking about nukes in downtown metropolitan areas, the size of the nuke is almost irrelevant. But Johnny Silverhand is entirely happy for the victims of his nuke to make that sacrifice for him. Johnny wants the world to wake up, listen to his message of revolution against the corporations, and he really doesn't give a shit how many people have to die in order for that message to be heard. He is, by any definition of the word that you would care to use, a terrorist. But what makes Johnny Silverhand particularly dangerous is that he has charisma. Anybody who actually knows him can't stand him, even the people he's working with. But most people don't know him, they just know his image, and he does look pretty damn good in a pair of tight leather pants. And a charismatic arsehole is very dangerous.
Slide in. Sweet icebreaker. Foreign, right? Just wonder if we know anyone who can switch the subnet protocol.
Hilarious. You gonna help or not?
Do spiders spin webs? It's time we caught some flies.
Thanks, Murph.
Now, just for good measure, Holy cyber cow. We're on TV. Take a look.
Turn now to Arasaka Tower. Its evacuation ongoing after an unidentified terrorist organization released a manifesto threatening violence. The terrorists stating their desire to, quote-unquote, topple a monument to corporate colonialism. Night City's mayor, Imbole Ebunike, has issued a statement declaring that he will bring the full force of the law to bear in response to any act of terrorism. Going now to our reporter on the scene at Arasaka Tower. Hopefully he can shed some light on the situation as events unfold.
All set. Now get out of there. They're moving up. Hit the roof quick.
Charismatic arseholes are the worst and most dangerous kind of arseholes. Just ask the Germans in the 1930s what kind of trouble a charismatic arsehole can get an entire country into.
Shit! That's Adam Smasher! Johnny, run!
Murphy?
Door's sealed, but it won't hold for long. Run, Johnny. Like the wind.
You remember the cyborg bodyguard in Yorinobu's penthouse? The one who said that Evelyn looked like a fuckable piece of meat? That's him.
Smasher.
Told you, Johnny boy. Told you I'd end you someday.
So, all very interesting, I'm sure. Nice little bit of historical background. Events in Night City 54 years earlier, but what exactly does that have to do with anything here?
Let us try once more. Your associates. Who are they? How did you acquire fissile material?
Gonna give good cop over there a chance to say something? Come on.
Which terrorist organization do you belong to? How did you acquire fissile material?
Boss don't look too pleased with your efforts.
아저씨, 直接話をする.
Hot damn. Done and gone.
My husband died in that tower. But there are fates worse than death.
I didn't want him to die.
Come on, Johnny, be honest at least. You wanted lots of people to die so the world would hear your message loud and clear.
Why did you do this?
To bring an end to the madness you wreak.
人は嘘をつき、自分自身も欺く。だが死者は違う。死者は雄弁だが、彼らは決して嘘をつかない。死者の言葉にはつつましさがある。始めろ。
And that is how the personality of the world's biggest murdering arsehole, well, the 21st century's biggest murdering arsehole, well, okay, the 21st century's biggest murdering arsehole so far, ended up on the relic chip in your head. And that chip in your head is where all of this is happening. Remember, the chip is for storing the personalities of dead people. And the storage process, well, technically more of a transfer process, because it does not leave the original personality intact. And the problem here, there's only room for one personality on the chip.
And you? Who are you?
Interesting question. See, I'm somebody who was dead. And I'm somebody who would still be dead if it wasn't for this relic chip. Because this relic chip actually has two purposes, and so far we've only really discussed the one: saving and storing or transferring the personality of somebody in a dying body. Before we get on to the second purpose, let's just recap that: saving and storing the personality of somebody in a dying body. I was in a dying body. Now on to the second purpose of the chip. When inserted into a fresh body, it will overwrite any personality in that body with the personality on the chip. And this is where things go a little bit screwy, because there's only really ever supposed to be one personality on the chip. And thanks to my little accident at the hands of Dexter DeShawn, there are now two personalities on the chip, something it was never designed to hold. Or more accurately, there were two personalities on the chip. The reason I'm breathing again is that the chip has re-downloaded my personality back into my body. It has quite literally brought me back to life. But now the chip's confused, and don't forget, it's also damaged, because it still has another personality, that of Johnny Silverhand, and its original purpose was to transfer any personalities on the chip into any handy nearby bodies. And that means me. And it's here we're about to be briefly reunited with our very good friend Dexter DeShawn, who, unfortunately for him, hasn't been nearly as smart as he thinks he has.
Heavier than he looks. Now, listen, dog. I have done exactly what you asked. So let's you and me figure this out.
Killing me and Evelyn and then laying low would have been absolutely the right thing for him to do. But instead, the fucking idiot tried to cut a deal with Arasaka.
Arasaka様、お父様の殺害犯を見つけました。この男で間違いありません。はい。1時間後には着くかと。
Help me. Wyatt.
I guess in one way, it was fairly inevitable. I mean, cutting deals is what Dexter does. He's a fixer. But what an idiot. Unfortunately, for Takemura here, Yorinobu cannot afford to have any live witnesses to what actually happened to his father. And that includes anybody that these live witnesses may have spoken to before they became dead witnesses.
You hear me? I need your help.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me to introduce the Arasaka Corporation's vat-cloned cyber ninjas. This is the kind of muscle that the world's leading cyber technology corporation can send against you. Yorinobu clearly doesn't want me to arrive alive at whatever location he'd instructed Takemura to deliver me to, and unfortunately for Takemura, the merest possibility that I might have told him exactly what happened in the penthouse means that he is now an expendable asset too. There's also the likelihood that Yorinobu couldn't possibly have expected Takemura here to fall for the old "my father has been poisoned" bullshit either. And by the looks of things, Tak's already been hit. I think this is the last one, but fuck me, these things are hard to kill. I mean, I've been having better success shooting their bikes, as you can see. Oh, it's not the last one. Oh, this one really looks like he means business. These things are like the Terminator. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them. You can't beg or plead with them, and they absolutely will not stop until you are dead. That's killed it, right? Wrong.
Don't you dare faint again. Keep your eyes open. Fuck. Ah! We both could use medical attention. Do you know a Reaper doc whom you can trust?
I know. Someone.
We must get to Reaper doc. Quickly.
Victor will fix us up.
We have to get there somehow. Call someone. Anyone.
All right, all right.
Greetings. My scanner indicates you are outside the service area.
Just come pick me up. Need to get to Misty's esoterica. Front of Vic's.
Of course. A vehicle is en route. It should arrive in less than 20 minutes.
What are you doing? Hey! The personal link is damaged.
Please proceed to insert the jack below the ear, though not too deep. There should be auxiliary neurosockets between his lymph nodes, beneath the SCM muscle.
If I hit a vein by mistake, he will die.
Indeed, as he will if you do nothing.
I think I have the socket.
Now proceed to connect.
Let's get him inside.
I cannot hold it. I need to rest.
That your blood?
Misty!
Pressure's tanking.
It's neurogenic shock. He's dying.
Gotta cut my way through the occipital bone. No other way.
There is risk of...
I know what I'm doing.
Relax, Del. Vic knows what he's doing. So it looks like Takamura and I have just become allies of circumstance. Because if Takamura had any doubts before, he now knows that Yorinobu is not telling the truth about the circumstances that led to his father's death. Which means Yorinobu can no longer afford to have either of us alive. And that's good for me, because Takamura Goro is an extremely dangerous man. That's the good news. Now here's Vic with the bad news.
My head.
How you feeling?
I don't know, Vic. Ears are ringing. But I'm seeing shit.
These hallucinations. Describe them to me.
Blinding lights. It's loud. I'm on stage and I almost can't breathe. I'm so damn full of hatred. Then I let it all out into a mic. And I realized it didn't help. I don't feel any better. And then, promise not to laugh. I plant a bomb in Arasaka Tower.
Nothing there to laugh about.
Night City looked different. Strange. And I hated it. Hated everybody. Every inch. It was too real. Even for a lucid dream.
You weren't dreaming, V. Those were memories. There's a personality construct on that shard. Dreams you had were from his past.
Saying I experienced another psyche's memories? How's that possible?
You two are connected in a way I can't make head or tail of.
Who? Me and who, Vic? Who's the other?
Johnny Silverhand, the terrorist. Real talk of the town back in my day. Anyway, that's not what's important right now.
What is?
Biochip. It's basically a bomb. Fuse lit already. You don't have much time left. Much life. A few weeks, tops. Silverhand's construct is overriding your consciousness, gradually taking over your body until one day you'll just be gone. V, it's important you get all this.
Will fix me up, right? Vic?
If I could, I would, V. Believe me. But this is... it's way beyond what I know how to do.
You're the best of the best, Vic. Why can't you help me?
You want the long story or the short?
Don't admit a thing, not one D.
Okay. There is a construct. A psyche on the chip. That of Johnny Silverhand. You jacked it in your chip slot. Nothing happened, right? Until you died.
Bullet in the head from Dexter to Sean. But how do you come back from something like that?
Low caliber. You lucked out. Not least thanks to another poor decision by Mr. Deshawn. The nanites off the chip started fixing the damage. Then they took your hand and coaxed you off the path toward the light.
People don't just die and get up like nothing happened.
Used to be true. Now it's only if they don't have a classified piece of corpo tech primed to resurrect them.
What about me? My psyche? I'll make it back from the other side and what? I'm supposed to pretend change is normal?
Ask the Arasaka engineers who built the thing. All I know is your mind's gonna go. It won't be pretty. From the biochip's perspective, your brain cells are a tumor that needs to be scooped out, while your body's an empty shell to hold the construct.
So this fucking terrorist wants to wipe me and take my place, take my body.
It's not willful on his part, it's automatic. Inevitable. And neither of you can stop it.
Vic, you've always come through for me. If there's nothing you can do to help me, then... well, what the hell do I do? Tell me, please. Vic.
I wish I knew, kid. Misty...
You're asking too much from an old-timer like Vic. Come on, V. Let's get you home.
So the TLDR version of all of that, as the late great Bill Paxton is often quoted as saying, is, we're in some real pretty shit now.
And then he died. And I thought I was gonna die. With him in my sleep.
Sleep's a small hint of death. The inevitable.
Can't actually tell if I'm awake now. I mean, I could be dead already, right?
Not something to focus on, V. Let it go. Here. Got some meds for you. Omega blockers. Taken regularly, they'll keep things from progressing too quickly. Also, they should keep that guest of yours calm and quiet.
Red pills or blue pills?
Pseudoendotrizines from me. Effect will be opposite. It'll speed things up. Free the demon, so to speak.
Yes, this is a Matrix reference.
Giving me a pill to prod that son of a bitch so he can kill me faster?
Listen, you're likely to be fine for a while. But sometime down the road, it could turn into pure agony. I'm giving you options, honey.
The brain can be tricked. Plain old painkillers do that.
Your psyche's gonna die, V. You'll feel your old self slipping away. At some point, you won't recognize yourself. It'll be terrifying. It'll be painful. But it doesn't have to be.
Fuck I need pills for? Ought to just stick a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger.
Well, that way you'd kill 2 souls. Is that what you want?
I gotta lie down.
Here. Got one more thing for you. Vic pulled this out of your skull. A lucky charm? Promise you'll try to get some sleep.
Misty, wait. About Jackie.
Yeah?
He talked about you. Like lots.
We got into a fight. Right before he went off to do this job.
He wasn't mad at you. I hope you know that.
I know. I just wish our last moments together could have been different. But right now, you need rest. So sleep. Please sleep.
Rest would be nice. Unfortunately, the stowaway in my head has other ideas. And I think that seems like a good spot to leave it, at least for now. But don't worry, we will be back. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.